Here's all you need to know about the latest Etsy updates. Let's step into the video and go through this together. So first, let's talk about Etsy. They've updated a few of their policies and clarified some things regarding AI designs and mockups. This is particularly important to me because back in September last year, I wanted to start a print-on-demand shop, but that was the time when a lot of people were getting their shops suspended by Etsy. And at that time, there was a lot of talk here on YouTube and in the Etsy space that this might have been because people were using mock-ups, which were not a correct representation of the product that the customer was selling. So at that stage, I was pretty afraid to start a print-on-demand shop because I thought it would be closed as soon as I started Etsy. And if you don't know what print-on-demand is a business model where you design the product, and then you get companies like Printify, like Printful, like Gelato to make and send out these products to your customers. So as an Etsy seller, what you're doing is the design, and then you're using production partners to make and ship these products to your customers. So in the latest updates from Etsy, they clarify what that means for Etsy sellers going forward. Etsy clarify and they reinforce what they're about as a business and how they're going to be supporting the different types of sellers that exist on Etsy today. So let's just take a look at what that means. If you're an Etsy seller, you'll find that on the dashboard, you'll see the announcement there from Etsy. Etsy shared some important updates about print-on-demand, handmade, and digital products. They've answered big questions that we've had as sellers, like, can we use mock-ups? Can we use AI to create designs? All those questions have been answered in the latest update from. So in these changes, they're mainly looking at how they will remain the marketplace for original items from real people. So they're reinforcing what they stand for by reorganizing their policies into a new creativity set of standards. So what they're talking about mainly is that all items on Etsy must either be made by a seller, designed by a seller, sourced by a seller, or handpicked by a seller. Made by a seller means physical items crafted, altered, or assembled by a seller by hand or using tools they own. So this is the part, I like this part because I have a Cricut machine. So made by the seller means they're talking about products that have been handmade. And over the years, we've always known Etsy to be a marketplace for handmade products. Going further down into made by a seller, these, like I said, are physical items that have been made by the seller by hand or using personal or computerized tools. These items made by the seller include handcrafted items. For example, a wooden chair built by hand with a power saw and sander, ceramic pottery thrown on a wheel, that's handcrafted items. Hand-altered items are commercially available base items that a seller altered using specialized handcrafting tools like hand-embroidered flowers on a tote bag. Hand-assembled items also, for example, using jewelry making tools to attach charms to a necklace. That's the example they've given there. And made by the seller also includes items produced using computerized tools. So using your 3D printer, your Cricut machine, your laser cutting machine, those are all items that fit in under the made by a seller. The next group is the designed by the seller. So sellers' original designs that are produced or printed by a third party or offered as a digital download. So that incorporates print-on-demand products and digital products. So digital downloads of the seller's designs It also includes sellers' original designs produced by a production partner, and seller prompted AI creation. So for some time, there's been talk of, is AI allowed on Etsy? Can you sell items that have AI generated images? And here they're clarifying that creations that are generated using AI tools like AI image generators, so it needs to be the seller's original prompt. And the other thing you need to do is the seller must disclose within their listing description if an item is created with the use of AI. So you have to disclose this. So that then puts a bit of a spin on people who are actually selling prompts. What Etsy is saying here is you need to use the seller prompted AI creations. So those are some of the clarifications under the designed by seller. But yay, good news for print on demand sellers. The other category is handpicked by a seller. So this includes vintage items. There are quite a number of vintage items sold on Etsy, and these are handpicked by the seller. So vintage items that are 20 years old, that the seller personally curated and collected. That's the clarification there. Or items from nature, like one-of-a-kind natural items that the seller personally found or cultivated. And also gift baskets. So any items, an assortment of different types of items that the seller personally selected and creatively packaged to create a new and unique set. So they're really going down into the detail and clarifying what their new creativity standards mean. And the last group is the sourced by the seller. These are items that enable buyer creativity, including craft and party supplies. You'll see a lot of those on Etsy, and items that are personalized with a buyer's custom text or image. So those are the 4 groups of products that Etsy are promoting and clarifying as part of their creativity vision. Let's talk about using mockups on Etsy. So a mockup is a digital representation of the final product. And this means that you're not taking a picture of the actual product, but you're using a digital product, a digital mockup to show what your final product would look like. So if we look into the Etsy's listing image requirements, we're going to see that they clarify what is expected there. So if we go right to the bottom where they talk about photos of items made by production partners. So this is if you were selling products using print on demand, what's the expectation there for the photos or for the listing images. So they clarify here that if you create an original design, such as artwork or a pattern that a production partner prints onto a base item, like a t-shirt or a mug, you may use a stock photo mock-up to illustrate the end product that the buyer will receive. So that clarifies it. You can use mock-ups for your print-on-demand products. But there's a but there, and that's what people have been talking about, because when it comes to personalized items, they are saying here photos of personalized or customized items. They're saying it is prohibited to use a photo of the blank product or a mock-up with placeholder text, like just to say your text here as a main image. And you see quite a lot of those types of listings on Etsy. So there's been a lot of discussion that I've been following on some of the Facebook groups or here on YouTube, whether you can use mock-ups for personalized items. Personalized items are really popular on Etsy, And so looking at what the statement means, I believe they're referring more to when sellers put their products on Etsy with just your custom text here. Etsy are looking to see, for example, the design, and if it's say for a teacher, then you have Mrs. Smith on it, or if it's representing the established by year, for example, if it's a grandma's gift, then having that established 2024 or established 2023, because you'll expect your customers to supply that information. So it will vary from product to product. So I think the statement is only for if you are referring to just your custom text here, but we'll get more clarity on this from Etsy as time goes. But from the research I've done looking at Etsy gurus who teach here on YouTube, it seems to apply to t-shirts or sweatshirts that are just blank with the text, your text here or your design here. So let me know in the comments what you think. This is just my point of view. So what will we see on Etsy with these changes? So Etsy will now be labeling listings with made by, designed by, sourced by, or handpicked by, and the shop name. So this will help buyers understand how items are created, and that will build trust. So if you use a print-on-demand partner and you sell on Etsy, you'll need to make sure that with these new creativity standards, you'll need to make sure that you are letting your buyers know that you're using a printing partner or a print-on-demand partner. And to do this, you need to come to your Etsy shop, to the shop manager, go on settings, and here you'll find partners you work with, and you can add a production partner. So when you click add a production partner, you'll put on the details, who the production partner is. And I've seen people can just put a printing shop or a printing partner. It's up to you really. And then you can put a descriptive title of who they are, where they are located, what they do for you. If you already have listings in your shop, and you want to make sure that you've specified the print-on-demand supplier, here in under listings, if you go to editing options, if you select the listings that are applicable under editing options, you can change the production partner. You can specify the production partner there in bulk. So that should help you quickly change and align with the latest Etsy creativity standards. So thank you for watching. These are the latest updates from Etsy, and I hope that they are useful to you. If you've got any questions, please pop them in the chat, in the comments, and let me know what you think about these changes and whether you'll be implementing them in your shop. As usual, thank you for watching. If you like the type of content I'm posting here, please leave me a like and even subscribe to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. So thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.